So let's talk about picking orders. So I'm getting ready to transfer here, so I figured it was a fitting time to talk about that. So I'm here getting ready to transfer from Naval Station Spain on shore duty to Bahrain to sea duty. So we're going to talk about some things with my Navy assignment on how you go about picking orders because I've been a career counselor for 3 years now almost, and a lot of people seem uneducated, to say the least, in terms of how you go about that process. So we're going to talk about updating your preferences, your resume, when to apply, how to go about applying for those orders, and the process of all that stuff, getting your hard copies, and then, of course, the PCS process. So I'm going to try to streamline all that somewhat simply. If you guys have more questions, put them in the comments. There's a lot to the process. So, first things first, the window. So, call the window. The window is your timeline of when you're supposed to start applying. And a lot of people don't know because the higher leadership, in my case, didn't inform us. So we didn't know. And then a lot of people get kind of screwed over because they weren't informed or they're misinformed, this, that, the other. So here's what it is. So pretty much typically the month that you check in, if you check in April, that's your projected rotation date. That's your PRD. That's the date that you're supposed to transfer. So if you're transferring for me for shore duty, 3 years here, I got here in April. I'm supposed to leave in April. Well, my situation is different, but for this example, that's when I'm supposed to leave. Obviously, I didn't because it's already May, but neither here nor the other. So 13 months before you're supposed to leave your current duty station, you are supposed to be going in there, updating your resume, your preferences, and all that stuff. So your preferences is all the places you would prefer to go to. Platforms, different types of ships, different types of commands, different types of duties, duty stations. Your resume is everything you've already done. So obviously if you're coming from A school, you have absolutely nothing. So you're at the mercy of the detailer. Is what it is. But if you're like second, third, fourth, whatever duty station, then you have some leeway. So 13 months in, 15 to 13 months in, go ahead and update that right away if you can. Email the detailer, go on My Navy portal, go to My Navy assignment, and on the email section of the Find My Detailer portion, you can get the email for them, shoot them an email. Could be hit or miss. My detailer experiences have been pretty lucky, I guess. They respond pretty promptly, but email them with your contact info. Hey, let them know like, hey, I'm, rate whatever it is, so and so. I've already updated all my resume, my preferences, and this is where I'm trying to go. This is what I applied for. And that kind of gives you kind of a little personal contact, I guess, which can help out. Because if it lets them kind of put like a personality or a person to a name instead of just a number in a computer. And then maybe they'll hook you up. Maybe they won't. Kind of depends on who you have. All right, so preferences, resume. Also, keep in mind, all of that is kind of annoying because you have like a 15-minute window to update all that, and it's kind of, I'd have to do a whole separate, like, in-depth video showing my computer, and it's a pain. All right, so we'll go to okay. So went through the negotiation. All right, so you have three. You have typically three windows of opportunity to be picked for orders. So usually about your year mark, if you're transferring in April, then your first window will be April or possibly May, depending on when it opens. That's your first chance, and based off the last instruction that came out, I believe you have a 15% chance to get picked for your first time. So you apply for 7 options for orders. You have 15% chance. Then your second time, the next month, which in this case would be like May or June, you have I think a 65% chance to be picked for that one. So you again apply for 7, and you have a 65% chance. You do not have to apply for all 7. You can apply for 5 or 6 or whatever you want. But I would suggest, in my experience, applying for all of them, at least on the second and third ones. Maybe not the first one. I would be a little more picky on the first one. But definitely on your second and third picks, definitely apply for all 7. And then your third one is about your 9-month window from when you're transferring. You're going to apply for 7. And you have pretty much a 100% chance, unless something crazy goes on, like order modifications or something cancels or something. And in which case, again, that's why you need to be in contact with your detailer, because I've had it happen twice now. Because I think I'm just the most unlucky person in the Navy. Email them, call them if you can. Get in touch with them so they can put a voice or a face or a name to a name, something like that. So if something goes wrong, something goes crazy, then they're like, hey, that's a person. It's not just a freaking name on my screen. They're like, hey, I got to post them for orders. And like they've talked to you or whatever, whether it's email or a phone call. And they're like, hey, I got to, try to do my best to help this guy out, right? Or girl, whatever. And then we're going to talk about overseas screenings. So if you're going to anywhere that is not inside of the U.S., like the continent of like North America, so to include Hawaii, Guam, and then like Japan, Bahrain, Spain, anywhere that's not inside of the 48 states of the U.S., like that's attached to, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully. You'll have to do an overseas screening. So I'm currently doing that right now. Sorry, I've got crazy allergies right now. The overseas screening isn't terrible. It's just a lot of paperwork. So you got to go through the like normal medical, dental. If you wear contacts or glasses, you got to go through optometry. Anything that's like wrong with you, like physical therapy or anything like that, you got to go talk to them. And just make sure that all around, like you're good to go, right? All your shots are good. Your HIV testing is good. Your blood draw is good. If you have dependents, they also have to do an overseas screening, which can be done at a civilian like hospital or provider. But once you finish that screening, it's got to be sent to the military side, and they have to sign off on that, which takes a little more time, but it's not a huge deal. And then special duty screenings in terms of like type 2C duty and like with EOD units or special warfare groups, LCACs, LCSs. You're probably not going to get into that into your first term, but if you're here listening and you already know those terms, I hope you already know what to do, because I don't know how to describe them, because it's complicated. All right, what else? All right, so overseas screening. Overseas screening takes a good amount of time, over a month. You're supposed to have it done within a month, but it never happens because nothing in the military is easy. So it takes. They want you to do it within a month of getting your hard copies, which is my next segue. But they want you to have it done within 30 days of getting your hard copy orders because in case something comes up where they have to go back and check on your things and you have to redo something, you have time. So that's why. Into my next segment is the hard copy orders. So when you go into my Navy assignment and you're applying for all these orders and stuff, you're going to get posted eventually for, I don't know, MCM 13 Dexterous, which is me. I'm going to Bahrain to a minesweeper. You're going to get posted for that. But you won't get hard copy orders until possibly months later. So it's like as late as 30 days prior to you transferring. And I'm supposed to be transferring this month, but I'm a little late just from paperwork things. But I just got my hard copies, I think in March or April, something like that. So pretty close to the cut. And there's a lot of paperwork that needs to be done that you need those hard copy orders. So that can complicate things, especially if you have dependents. If you're single, things are pretty simple. But yeah, let's see, what else can I think of? Transferring cars. From my time in being overseas the entire time, I would recommend, unless you have a lot of money, don't buy something nice. Just buy something that gets you by, for the time being, and sell it before you leave. Stay in the hotel, get a rental until you leave, get to your next place, get something. Because to transfer and transport a car from one station to another, especially going overseas, as I have my entire career, is, pardon my French, a bitch and a half. Let's see what else. Transferring household goods shipment. You have to go on Military One Source from the My Navy portal site, and then it's going to transfer you to DPS, and that whole thing is the opposite of a cakewalk. So I would advise, you can try going on the website, but go to the office and try to ask for some help, because that's what I did here in Spain. And I did it all online, but I got most of it done, 90% done. And then I went to the office and they were super helpful. Luckily, I think I got kind of lucky because they were really nice and really helpful. And then the last thing I think I'll end on is pets. I know dogs, transferring dogs from, especially from the US to overseas, or from the overseas to the US, is super complicated. Also pets just in general. But I'm going to Bahrain and I'm taking 2 cats with me. And the restrictions that they have just on the shots and the rabies and the blood draw and everything, and the consequation, or however they say it, where they got to sequester inside for 30 days or something. It's a pain. And all the paperwork and traveling from the military plane or from a civilian plane or whatever, doesn't matter. It's the same restrictions and all that paperwork. So if you have pets and you're trying to transfer from inside the States to inside the States, or you're going from inside to outside the States, or outside the States to inside the States, doesn't matter. Get your pet stuff done early so you don't have to be like me and have to deal with not being able to take leave, because that's one of the main things that I've had to deal with going from Spain to Bahrain, is that I don't really get much downtime at all, which sucks. So, with that, I'll leave it. We're already at 15 minutes. So, you got comments, questions, concerns? Ask me the questions. Ask me what you want to know in the future. I do music too. So, if you want music suggestions. But it seems like most of my following is Navy. So, ask your questions. Tell me what you want me to talk about. Till then, I'll be out here trying to transfer in peace.